Hello and welcome to another Amazon live stream, the very first one of 2026. How is everyone doing? I hope you all had a great Christmas, New Year, and anything else in between. I was also 40 as well, so it was a big sort of celebration for me this year. So yeah, hope everyone is doing well. I just need to put myself on mute because apparently I'm getting lots of messages from everyone. But yeah, and today we're going to talk about Amazon. I'll be here to answer any questions you guys have got about Amazon, but I'll also be talking about my Amazon sort of Q4 experience, how it went, what I learned. I learned a lot this year actually. It was quite an interesting Q4 for me. And yeah, I'll show you my results, talk about what I learned and what my kind of plan will be for next year. And just go from there basically. But yeah, and just gonna hang out and talk about Amazon. So those of you that don't know, my name's Simon. I'm a 7-figure Amazon seller in the UK, and you'll see by my results I'm definitely a 7-figure Amazon seller. I sold so much in December, it's crazy. A standstill in Florida, nice. How's it? I hope the weather's out there is nicer than here. Right now it's snow outside, it's cold and not that great out there. So how's it going, buddy? Hope you're having a good time. But so those who don't know, my name's Simon, 7-figure Amazon seller. I help people with Amazon. I've got a mentoring program. I've also got this YouTube channel. I've got a free Discord community. I've got a website, fbamogul.com, which has seen a massive increase in traffic recently as well, which is awesome to see. There's always articles coming out. We released like 10 articles last month on fbamogul.com. Also run Away Here as well. I've got my fingers in a lot of pies when it comes to Amazon. So, hey, Adrian, how's it going? So yeah, anyone who, by the way, who messaged me over the kind of the holiday period and I've not got back to them yet, I apologise. I took a deliberate sort of like 2-week break, no Discord or very little Discord, and just I know Zara messaged me asking me a question. I will get back to everyone eventually. I've been catching up with lots of stuff not this morning. Been catching up with a lot of stuff today, and yeah, I will get around to everyone eventually. So apologies, I've been a little bit AWOL for the past few weeks. But yeah, how has everyone's sort of Q4 results been? Hopefully you've had, obviously Christmas, best time of the year for retail. Hopefully you guys have absolutely crushed it. So yeah, Zara, for me, it was good Christmas. I'd say I ate a lot. I ate a reasonable amount, nothing too crazy actually. I think I've lost weight, which is surprising. Weighed myself today and I was like, oh, I'm down 3 pounds, which is pretty good. So I was actually pretty conservative. Did eat quite a few chocolates and things like that. Had a good time playing board games with family, hanging out, going out. I went out for a lot of meals, to be fair. New Year's as well. Went out for did stuff, and then I'd say I had my birthday. I turned 40 this year, so I've done that as well. So that's kind of like 3 big things all done in the space of 1 week, basically. So, but yeah, so it was good. Hey, Silas, again, thanks for joining us. Thanks to everyone who's on. If I've missed any names out, don't think I have. But yeah, so let's have a look at my results anyway. And actually, we'll actually look at like this month so far. Hey, Helen's again. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you coming on, Helen. We've got all the regulars on here, which is awesome to see. So I need to announce these more in time. I need to get more organized. This year my plan is organization professionalism, basically. So I'm going to be taking my organization, which is not that great, to be fair, to another level. So I'm better organized in all my businesses and things that I do, and taking things a little bit more professionally as well. So, one thing I'm definitely not very professional is running my Amazon business. So I'm very good at making money, buying and selling. I'm not so good at all the admin and stuff in the back end. That's something I need to work on. Yeah. Wow, Adrian, that's amazing. That is actually crazy, mate. So, yeah. I mean, Adrian, I still remember seeing your screenshots and where you had £100 profit for lifetime, so 100 sales, I think. So that is amazing to see, man. That's absolutely crazy. The only downside is that's the peak of the year now. Although, I was actually talking to Wes today, and it was like, oh, now we had a good December. Now it's kind of back to reality again. Although I think January is still a good month, to be fair. But it's all now building. It almost feels like the rest of the year now is building up to next December. where we're just buying and selling, accumulating as much capital as possible, so that when we go and buy stock for December, we've got as much as possible that we can absolutely make this December coming in 12 months. Even bigger than this one. So, but yeah, that's amazing, mate. I'm really pleased. And you've not even started the mentorship program yet. So, yeah, that is amazing. Let's look at today's pretty good. Nothing amazing, but we'll look at some results quickly anyway. So, and then we'll dive in and look at December. So today it's still going pretty well. Considering that I've not bought any stock since I don't know when my last purchase was. I'm not sure, for a while anyway. At least 3-4 weeks now. I'd say 3 weeks. So no, maybe 4 weeks. So we've got some decent stock at Amazon still. I don't know why this just dropped off the screen there. Anyway, so 260 for the day, not too bad. I need to be getting these numbers up though. My goal is to get to 30,000 profit in a month, so which means 1,000 a day. So I need to really work on that. Yesterday, 380. Let's just show the month so far. The month. Let's go month. So month so far. Well, really close actually to 2,000. So which is not too bad considering that we're just back to work today, or at least I am. We're on 2,000 profit, and I've literally just gone back to work today, so not too bad really. So that's the month today. But the numbers we're all looking for, which some of you already know because I've done screenshots, although I'm sure these numbers have gone down since then, because I'm sure I've had some returns and stuff. Let's look at my December results. Let's have a look here and see how I did. So it was, wow, actually it's surprisingly close to what I remember. Actually, so this is what I made in December. Now, don't forget, this is gross profit. I have to take off. I'm going to say be conservative and say we'll take £4,500 off as expenses. I'll be very conservative. So let's say I made £16,000 net profit. So Snappy says, evening, seemed you might be in Dubai living the dream. No, I don't go to Dubai until the 19th of January. So yeah. Hey Aaron, how's it going? Thank you. 2 days, not bad. That's what I did in December anyway. So those are my results. I actually don't seem to have had that many returns. I swear when I posted my screenshot, it was like 21.5. So weird. Sales and success. Yeah, what numbers? When I actually posted the screenshot, it's 21,608.97. So to be fair, to only have less than £200 in return so far is really not that bad. However, I'm sure this will drop down a bit. But yeah, so let's just call it 4,433 in sort of expenses. I need to figure out what my expenses are. That's a job for this week. But yeah, that's just kind of gives you an idea. So I think as a conservative number, we will say that I've made, let's put it down here basically, that I've made in terms of net profit, about 16,000. I think it's probably fair. I'd probably be a bit conservative, but anyway, that's fine. So that's what I did. Now my overall Q4 wasn't that great, so we're looking at December, which is nice, but Q4 in itself wasn't that great for me. If we get those numbers up now, so 1st of October, I'm still using the old STK, by the way. I know there's a new one out. You've lost the circles, which kind of sucks. The coloured circles. But I've not gotten used to using that yet. So this is my sort of October, November, December. Not quite as impressive, but anyway, it is what it is. So, again, it is what it is. So I need to be smashing this year, basically. But yeah, those are where I am, basically. So 35,000 gross. But yeah, so what was interesting, though, is if you look actually back at this result here, is my sales for December were absolutely crazy. And we'll talk about exactly why that is. Like my ROI was down lower at 19%. Good profit, but my sales was like 225, well basically 225, yeah, which is crazy. So it was big numbers. But I took some gambles on some stuff and they didn't work out. But let me catch up with the chat. How was the smashing it? How's the water? You got, hey friend, I work with a reseller in Austria selling brother products. Okay, because my product account is new, I received a 3-section suspension. Do you have any advice? Yeah, I don't know why they got suspension. What was the actual reason for that? You must have been given a reason. So, what was the reason for your section 3, basically? So, No, Section 3 means suspension. But yeah, what was the reason? You would have got some sort of authenticity complaint or an IP complaint or something. Now, Brother isn't IP, so unless they've changed their policy. When did this happen, by the way? But yeah, I imagine you got an authenticity complaint. So yeah, are you sure those Brother products are legitimate and real? It's one thing I'd say. But yeah, so what did I sell to make 21,500? Let me just keep it up. I'm just going to put it down here in the bottom and we'll keep it there. For anyone who jumps in, they can see the numbers there for what we did in December. So how did I kind of do those numbers? So I went heavy on pretty much two categories: health and beauty, toys. And health and beauty went pretty well overall. I had some absolutely killer health and beauty products. When I say health and beauty, I'm talking perfumes, aftershaves. Don't know why I'm even going so broad on the category. Perfumes, aftershaves, I did an insane amount. I had, you guys know I've talked about that palette. Technically it was a half palette of Paco Rabanne. That went. Now, I didn't make a huge amount on those items. I only made about £2.50 profit on those. I was a bit disappointed. At one point, they're looking to be break even, but in the end, I made about £2.50 profit. But I sold, I think, about 500 units in about 3 days, something like that. So not too bad. I was hoping to make a bit more than that, but is what it was. I had some other perfumes where I was literally making £28 profit per unit. I think my best was £28.29 profit per unit. I wasn't selling a huge number of those, but I was doing very well on those. I had everything kind of in between. I've had some that were, £5, £10, £15 profit, and I had other ones. Yeah, so perfumes, aftershaves did really well for me. Toys went okay. However, so let me just, before we go on to that then, the chat. Carry on what I was saying. So toys went okay. I had some good toys, I had some bad toys. Now, one thing I did is I took a gamble this year. I took a gamble on about 5 products. I think it was 2 Hot Wheels ones. There was and 3 other kind of like popular toys, ranging from 4,000 sales a month to 10,000 sales. No, 8,000 sales. No, yeah, one was, it was 4,000, 8,000, and 10,000 sales a month on these items. And the plan was to buy these items. They were break even for me at the current Amazon price. But the plan was Amazon going out of stock for Christmas, and then I could put the price up £10-15 per unit, still maintain pretty much those sales velocities, clear the lot, and be rolling around in money, basically. That was the plan. However, it didn't quite work out like that. Everything worked. Amazon went out of stock. The price didn't go up. And that was one thing that was surprising to me. So Amazon went out of stock. They technically didn't go out of stock. They stayed on the listing. This is the thing that happened. So they didn't go out of stock. They said, look, we can't deliver this till January. I think even one of them was up to February. So this is now post-Christmas delivery. And I thought, well, you know what? Amazon's got to give me the buy box. One of them was selling for $44.99. One of these products. I had mine at £60. And I thought, you know what? Amazon's got to give me the buy box. They wouldn't. And I was just not getting any sales. I had 500 units of this thing. And I think, pretty much 500 units of one of these toys. And I just wasn't getting the buy box. So I kept lowering the price. And honestly, Amazon were at $44.99. I was at $45.99, so £1 more expensive. Amazon could not deliver it in time for Christmas. However, I had 500 in stock, ready to go in Amazon, and they would not give me the buy box at £1 more expensive. So in the end, I just cut my losses, and on all these ones, I just put the price to match Amazon and just sold them all through. And realistically, on some of them I made money, some of them I broke even. When you factor in prep costs, shipping, I probably lost 50p, maybe £1 per unit on some of those toys. So hence my ROI is pretty low. My sales look pretty good. But yeah, I just took that gamble basically. And it's good for my prep center. Got to prep loads of stuff, probably about 1,500, 2,000 toys. But I think in the overall toy category, when you take those losses, toys for me will probably break even. I had some toys that made lots of money on. I had toys that I say pretty much were breaking even. And when when I'm saying I'm losing maybe 30, 50p a unit, when you times that by 2,000 units though, it starts to add up. I think on one of them I was losing maybe about £1 per unit. Now it doesn't seem too bad, until you times that by about Yeah, it was 500 of one, 400 another, maybe about 1,500, 2,000. I can't remember exactly numbers. And that was a real surprise to me that Amazon just wouldn't share the buy box, even at really competitive prices. So it's a good lesson for next year. That's a big lesson I've learned this year, is that you can't rely on Amazon going out of stock, which happened on all of them because they couldn't keep the stock in. I deliberately picked ones that were ridiculously fast sellers. They just wouldn't share, basically. So that was a really good lesson for me. Adrian, that one, I still think that's retired. I know, it didn't work out as I wanted, but I still think that one's retired. You can't get it anywhere in the UK. I looked a few days ago. But anyway, we won't reveal too much about that. But it's still gone, that one. So I think, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's difficult. So, is your first year? It was the first year going really heavy on toys. Yeah, Snappy. Yeah. So that was the first year. There was a big sale on the website. Me and all my mentees were hardcore on this. Actually, no, we were somewhat hardcore on there. So no, that's not hardcore. I don't think you can be somewhat hardcore, can you? But yeah, and we got a few good deals on there. I know a lot of people got some good deals on there. I should have spent way more time on that site when the sale was on, but I missed out on some. I got some. It was okay. But that was it's a learning experience for me, really. So, and I mean, I had this one, going back to the health and beauty side of things. I had one Gucci perfume that was selling for. I sold one for I think 1, 2, maybe 3 units. FBM for like £109. Now mid-year you can buy them for 50 quid. So they were over 100% price increase. But obviously there was no stock in for FBA. I'd run out of FBA. I was the last FBA seller on there. FBA had gone out of stock. I bought some from the Tino, overpaid a little bit, but I wanted to have some. Still got a little bit behind me actually. And some $109.99. Crazy, absolutely crazy. It was. It's interesting. A lot of perfumes and aftershaves went out of stock. That was really interesting to me. That there was a lot of struggles to keep some of that stuff in stock. Next year, I'm just going to go so deep on perfumes, aftershaves, on Cogita. Oh my God, I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to spend I kind of got a little bit late to the party on this one. I'm going to go absolutely crazy on perfumes, aftershaves. I'm going to say, I'm not doubling down, I'm 10xing down. I'm going to spend like 300-400 grand on perfume aftershave next year. It's going to be crazy because that's the one that consistently just does well. I'm going to be, it's going to go well. So Aaron, apologies for taking a while to get to your question. So, gone is gone though. Hey, Don Simon. What storage fees you paid last month? Yeah, very little. Yeah, someone actually asked me. I went to the Profit Sweep source to store sort of meetup, and actually one of my friends was asking me about storage, and I think he was paying the same amount as me. And basically, I don't know why I did like December 1st. Yeah, it's literally just previous month. I just realised. So I paid £385.73. So, okay, no, that's not technically true, sorry. I paid a little bit more than that. I'll just screenshot it. I've got some EU ones, which I really need to chase down. So this is what I did, basically. So basically, it's about, I had a little bit of long-term storage and the normal storage of 385. So I paid, £425, something like that, profit, 425 in storage, and then a little bit of EU, which I really need to chase down because I don't have anything in EU, so I don't know what that is. But I've been charged every month for that. I need to sort that out. But yeah, so that's that basically. Not too much really. So I know my storage utilization. I was talking to a friend about this today, and he was really worried about his IPI score. I literally never look at the IPI score, so that's Inventory Performance Index, by the way. I literally just never look at it. But one thing you need to just keep an eye out on is if you go to your sort of hamburger menu on your Seller Central, the little 3-character one, go to inventory and then go to dashboard. In there, you'll be able to see your, then scroll all the way down to the bottom. You'll be able to see your storage utilization ratio. That's the important thing you need to look at. And this is my one. Everyone's will be slightly different, I imagine. Well, it will be. But yeah, this is my one. and it tells you basically how much you're paying for storage. So you can see here, for example, that I'm pretty much getting my first 22 weeks of storage for free because my storage utilization is pretty good. If you start dipping into the yellow and the orange and the reds, you start paying per cubic foot, and it gets really expensive to store stuff. So so that's an important thing to look at. But beyond that, I literally just don't even normally worry or look at this kind of stuff because it's I don't know, just buy and sell basically. You're not there to hold and store stuff. Although I'm more of a store than anyone really. So Helen, what about listing we're on together? That was a pretty good one, to be fair. So Helen and I were selling on a listing. I'm trying to remember what it's called now. I can't spell it. I can't spell it. I'll have to use Google. Oh dear. I did pretty well on those. Yeah. Again, I'm glad I didn't have too many of those because the last few that I sold, I only made a couple of pound profit, I think. So it was, I just wanted to get rid of them basically. So I did okay on those. Those are ones that were pretty successful. I think I made some good profit on some of those, and other ones that didn't do so well. So yes, Aaron had £250,000 basically in Amazon over Q4. So yeah, you did really well, Helen. Yeah, you did really well. That just shows you, like, when you've only got a few, you can kind of hold out for the best price. But when you've got, like, I think I had 200 of those. I think and I tried to let you and a few other people sell for a higher price, and just Amazon kept coming in and out of stock, and I did well on them. Don't get me wrong. I did sell some where I was making like £10-15 profit per unit, but it was getting to that point where I was like, well, I've got quite a lot of stock in now. Don't want to hold this beyond Christmas too realistically. So I was happy to lower the price and just take the profit, little bit of profit, and then go from there basically. But yeah, Aaron, 250,000 is what I peaked at, I think. I think it was 250. So Ryan's saying, what when should you start for Q4? Now. No, I'm joking. So okay, well there's two different questions. You say, so Ryan's asking, when should you start for Q4? Q4 being seasonal, to be fair, and then any other season. So I mean, realistically for Q4, probably starting to looking to sort of September, end of September would be August, June, July, August, September. Yeah, I'd say end of August, you really need to start basically clearing out, or in August, I'd be basically clearing out any inventory you've got that's not done that well. Just taking an L, taking a break even, getting your money back as quickly as possible on stuff that's just like, you've got in there that's not performing well. You're better off just taking that money and then getting ready and buying in September, basically. But like, if you can buy some Q4 items, you have to buy them a little bit earlier, June, July. If that's when the deal's on, that's when the deal's on. But yeah. Now, I mean, you can still buy in October and November, but December's really the big month, to be fair. That's the month that everything kind of happens. But realistically, you need to see when the offers are on as well. So with perfumes aftershaves, I know there's always good sales on around August time, maybe I think it is. August, maybe it's September. I can't remember now, actually. And there's some good deals available, but it all depends on what you're selling. There was some good toy sales going on in October, I think it was. Or was it November? No, that sale was in November, I think. It all depends when the sales are. And when it comes to things like, let's say, for example, you want to sell like sun cream for summer, like when's the best time to buy that stuff? It's like now, or maybe even like a month or two ago, because like that's when all the supermarkets, a lot of the retailers and stuff, they clear out their old stock. So that's the time you can pick this stuff up way cheaper. But you have to hold it for longer. Depends really. So you can prep a year in advance. You can prep literally a month in advance. It all depends how long you want to hold it for, or at the stock, which sometimes you don't want to hold it. It's a difficult question, really. I'd probably say just like a couple of months before as a general rule, basically. A month or 2 months before. But yeah. So, yeah. Snappy saying, okay, so right, yeah, cool. And then Snappy saying, what about the regating this Q400X? When do you think that will go? That's a good question. I've not seen anyone mention anything recently, so not that I've been too much on Discord today. I'm hoping things are going to, middle of the month, end of the month, things will get a little bit better. Who knows? Maybe it will not change at all. Again, I've got no problem with 100 units. That's absolutely fine, as long as they actually ungate you when you submit the information. That's absolutely fine. But yeah, I'm not sure, to be fair. It's going to be a tricky one. I'm not sure, though. We'll have to see. There's no point me speculating on it, because I don't know. I don't know, basically. I've heard that ungating's changing, but yeah, at the same time, it doesn't seem to have changed for the better at all. That's low for the value of stock you had. Yeah. So, I mean, like I say, I've done 225 in sales for the month of December. A lot of that was I had to just break even on, hurt the ROI. I mean, I think the problem is when you start scaling up, you can't necessarily so if you took someone who had £10,000, their numbers would look way better than mine in terms of the profit to sales to ratio and the ROI and stuff. When you start scaling, it's difficult to maintain those really nice ratios, if that makes sense. I'm not saying it can't be done. It definitely can. But I think my ROI would have been about 25-30% if I hadn't taken that punt on those toys. Now, the one thing I want to point out, by the way, is I've taken some gambles there that I've basically broken even on for the most part, I'd say. If they paid off, then I'd be laughing. I'll be on 40,000 profit. So, but yeah, my numbers are not amazing. So a friend of mine has around 70,000 in Amazon, I think roughly 80,000 for Q4, and he did 17 profit, I think, which is obviously significantly better than mine in terms of that. So yeah, definitely some room for improvement there. But yeah, I've also got some long-term items in there as well. I've got some stock which I'm just longer term on. So yeah, it's a difficult one. I actually do think the churn model is actually a better model, but if I find a really good deal, I can't help myself. I'll buy 100, 200, 500 units and just hold it. Even if it's 2 years worth of stock, I'll do that. I can't help myself. But is that the best use of your money? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, my numbers need to improve. And they will hopefully this year. I'm aware of that. 20 of storage and funds, exactly. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think honestly, churn is the best method. That's the one we teach my mentees. Just churn. We're not holding. We're not looking to speculate on stuff for long term, mid term. We're literally getting it in, getting it sold. Get it in, get it sold, get it back. Cash flow, basically. Cash flow. Make sure it's flowing. I actually might experiment. I might just go, look, this year I'm just going to do purely cash flow. I'm going to buy stuff, and my maximum hold is going to be 2 months, let's say. I mean, that's just the thing is, it just doesn't work for A2A. I do a lot of A2A as well, and that just doesn't. Maybe if it's non-A2A, I'll just cash flow it. Otherwise, I won't. But it kind of naturally does that anyway. So it's an interesting one, really. But yeah, I don't know. A2As are sick, but you do need to hold them. But maybe the cash flow is the better art. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's maybe I'll try experiment and see. I do hold stock though. I do kind of wait for good prices, but I'm not really. How do I say this? I'm not really cash restricted, if that makes sense. So yeah. Maybe if I get cash restricted. So that's the other thing as well. If you're cash restricted, you've spent all your money. Oh, my neighbour's cat's outside crying. She wants to come in. If you're restricted in cash, then definitely you've got more deals than you have money. Then definitely you need to get it in, get it sold, get it out, basically, and get it reinvested. Hopefully that'll happen to me this year as well. I'm going to be working super hard on spending. I've got shitloads of money, basically. I've been demonetized now. But yeah, so but yeah, and one thing I want to point out, by the way, as well, I'm not some sort of guru at this. I'm still learning. I still make a lot of mistakes in Amazon. But yeah, so I'm still learning, and I'm definitely not perfect. Dilly's saying, Happy New Year. Enjoy the weather listings. Yeah, I tried again for 2 hours. No joy. No. That's interesting, actually, because I did have a little play. So what Dilly's asking here is, there's a weird brand where there's some listings where you can add the item to inventory. It seemingly adds, but it never actually comes into your inventory. So it's not there. And even if you're on the page where you add it and try and create a shipment, it won't work. It says it cannot find the SKU. But it is there in the background. It's glitch somehow. And I know it's there in the background because I've seen you. Well, one, you can't then create the listing again with the exact same SKU. It will not allow you. It says this SKU already exists. So you've got this paradox of like, one thing it says, well, this SKU exists, you can't create this listing again with the same SKU. And then on the other hand, on the shipment page, it's saying it cannot find the SKU. Weird. Excuse me. So you've got that. I've also seen through third-party software that this SKU is in the back end, because this third-party software is using an API to access my Amazon account, and it's there. But again, it cannot create a shipment. So I had a little play, not too much, to try and figure it out, that there are people on these listings. There's like one seller on them, and they've obviously figured out how to actually get to ship this, get this into inventory. It's something I might play with this year, actually, because I think you can get onto those to be really good. But yeah, so Zara said, I have heard that some got brand approval without even applying for that brand. Are you talking about Weller, are you? Is that what you're talking about there, Zara? But yeah, so, Aaron's saying, I was talking about storage fee. I did about 17k with 60, 70k. Low for the value of stock. Yeah, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, I was speaking to a friend of mine. He literally only had like 20, 25,000 of stock in Amazon. And I think his storage fee was pretty much the same as mine. I think it was about 400. So that meetup was around the 20th of December, 21st of December, I think. So yeah, I think it was about 400. I can't remember exactly. It was around basically the same, around £400 at the time. So yeah, it's really weird. I don't know why mine is so low. It has to come down to that storage utilization. It has to. Like, if you look at your thing here, it has to be this. You can see I've got a lot of stock on Amazon, but as long as that stock has not been in Amazon for more than 22 weeks, it's free for me. So, I don't know if you can get any better than this, to be fair. I've never seen any better than this. I've only seen below 22 weeks. I think it probably stays at that, but yeah. But that's an important thing you need to look at and see what your storage utilization is. Yeah, so, yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? But yeah, it all comes down to that, I think. Yes, it has. It could be, yeah. But it's been there for months and months and months and months. Like, we're talking about literally 6 months plus. So one of these Weller products, I bought an entire crate, essentially. Well, I assume it was a crate. It was like 1,000 units from Cogita, only to realise, and I was like, oh yeah, I can sell it, no problem. Only to then realise it wouldn't actually add, and I was like, oh my god. And they actually cancelled the order for me. Not for me, they cancelled it. And I was like, thank God. Because I was like, what am I going to do with 1,000 Weller? I've got to eBay these. It's just a nightmare. But yeah, it's weird. So I don't know why. I tried multiple ways to get this working, but it just wouldn't work. So it's a weird one. But yeah, anyway, so it's definitely a weird one. So yeah, which brand are you talking about then, Zara? Yeah, I'm not sure what brands you heard that. Okay, Adrian's saying, where did you find the stories thing? So you go to your Seller Central. On the left-hand side, you've got the little hamburger icon, which is the 3 lines that opens at the side menu. And then inside of that, you want to go to inventory. And then in inventory drop down, you want to go to dashboard. And inside of there, you'll see that basically. Now, you're a new Amazon seller, Adrian, so I actually don't know what it would say for you, actually. But yeah, so... So what did you guys learn from Q4? Any interesting things you've learned? I mean... should I say? I don't know if I should or not. But basically, I learned a few interesting things about some retailers as well. So doing big orders to retailers, ordering 500 units, 200 units, whatever quantities I did, I can't remember now. About some retailers and how they don't care or do care about. I mean, that's why here is there, by the way. So that information's on there, to be fair. So that tells you that. But yeah, I learned a few little interesting tricks about some websites, basically about stock levels and restocking. And I learned a really good trick about one website, actually, where you can actually buy the stock and you've got 1 hour to cancel it, but in the meantime, you can download the invoice for it, which is crazy. Yeah, Adrian, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so that was a really interesting one. Yeah, French Ave was like such a weird little brand. I'm so glad I didn't touch that. But I'm a little bit wary about new like fragrance brands. To be fair with you, I kind of just tend to stick to the big ones. And when new ones come like French Ave, I don't know. I remember seeing that deal, and I was like, I don't know why I passed on it. I can't remember why, but I did pass on it, and I'm glad I did because a lot of people got IP complaints on it. But I think on that one, was it the fact that the brand didn't match the it wasn't actually a French. I cannot remember why I skipped that brand, but it might have been just the fact that it was new. Well, new to me anyway, or I looked it up and I couldn't find it. I don't know anyway, but if I see something like that on Cogita, then I'm pretty cautious generally. I stick to Paco Rabanne. I stick to, I was going to say DKNY, but DKNY can't sell anymore. What do I stick to? Paco Rabanne's a big one. Oh, Jean Paul Gaultier was a really nice one for me. Gucci, Versace did very well for me. Carolina Herrera went pretty well for me. Let me look at my previous month. So yeah, Paco Rabanne was my most profitable item, and that was when I was only making about £2.50 per unit on. So did very well on some RAM. That was my second most profitable item. Then it was Paco Rabanne again. I'm just looking at my top sellers by profit for the month for December. Third was Paco Rabanne. Fourth, yeah, I made so Helen, if you're still there, I made £755 profit on those toys that we both sold on. So I actually did pretty well. I did better on those than I realised. Actually, I didn't realise I did so well. So, but that got ruined by some of the Hot Wheels, and my neighbour's cat is really crying. Close the door. That got kind of ruined by. So I think the toys I did break even, to be fair. But yeah, because I had a couple that went well. The Gucci one that went really well. In fact, two Gucci ones actually went very well. That was my is that fifth and sixth? Then another Corsair Ram. Then a Carolina Herrera. Very profitable. Oh, Mercedes. Went pretty well. And then actually a Philips Hue one did pretty good. Oh, I can get to the top 100 actually, which is interesting. So yeah, yeah, obviously that's way better to make do 50 on 4 units. I did 755 on 200 units or so. I can't even remember now. Can't even remember. Yeah, Carolina Herrera, Giorgio Armani. It's literally, I'm looking at my most profitable items. It's pretty much, it's RAM and, oh wow, that's crazy. Interesting. Oh, okay, yeah, interesting. Oh yeah, Amazon lost some stuff in my stock. It's just insane. They've lost an entire pallet of stuff. I'm not looking forward to reimbursements on that one. Yeah, just looking through it. Honestly, you look at my inventory. It's just it's pretty standard. Paco Rabanne, Jean Paul Gaultier, a bit of Playmobil, Jean Paul Gaultier, Chloe, Gucci. It's just nothing rocket sciencey at all. Paco Rabanne again. Just yeah, nothing. Yeah, it's pretty bog standard. Some of you have even seen my store. I don't sell anything fancy. Oh yeah, my year is terrible. I don't want to show that. My year is awful. So I want to say with a caveat that I've not been pushing Amazon a lot this year. So, but I will show it to you. But my year was not good. No, it was really not good. But before we do that, actually, what I'm going to do quickly is it's Keeper. Let me just get a graph up that's very interesting to see kind of my. I want to go to search. No, data. I want to go to seller lookup. I'm going to look up my store. FBA my store. I think it's this one here. Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, this is the one. Cool. And I want to go to the year. And I want to go to listing count, basically. Let's do all, actually. So this is a very interesting chart before we show you my actual results, which I've kind of shown this one before, but this is my kind of listing counts over time. From when I started doing Amazon. So yeah, this is kind of interesting. So this is I don't know why it says year, but this is definitely all, as you can see from the chart below. I don't know why the year is kind of highlighted there. Glitch and Keeper. But yeah, you can see these are my listing counts over time. I don't know why I'm missing the top there. Anyway, you can kind of see it goes up and then, but you can see the beginning of the year, my listing count just, I don't know, obviously these like dips down to the like 1 or whatever it was down here, and not true, but you can see these curves of how in the beginning of the year, I basically, the Umove thing had me scared, so I literally just dropped off Amazon massively to the point where I had, I don't know if I can actually see that. Yeah, the count is, I went to about 100 units. So this kind of dip down in sort of January, February, March at time was about 100 units, I think. Yeah, 100. Okay, yeah, I can see it here now. Yeah, all the way down to 50, apparently, 56, 52. Anyway, and then obviously I've been ramping up again since, basically, with a little bit of yeah. Anyway, that kind of shows you that this year I really didn't push it very hard. And then my total year to date is, it's not a good number, I'll be honest with you guys, but this year will be much better. But I say I really wasn't pushing Amazon that hard this year. It's not a good number. I'm not happy with this, but it is what it is. It pays the bills, I guess. It pays the bills. Here we go. You ready, guys? So you can see it's not a great number, but this is what happens when you do Amazon and then slow down Amazon and then do Amazon again. But this is the total number for the year, basically. So good sales, but not good profit, really. Well, 10% if you look at those kind of things. So 10% of sales in terms of profit. So this year will be very different, but yeah, there we go. Don't really hide anything. I'm not very proud of this number, but that is my number, basically. So, but yeah, that's where we are. And then lifetime, I guess we can look at lifetime as well. Might be a little bit nicer. Don't know. I mean, lifetime's actually kind of interesting. Let's look at lifetime, yeah. Because I actually did hit a bit of a milestone in December. So this is my lifetime on Amazon. Again, this is, technically I'm a full-time Amazon seller, but I really don't put full-time effort into Amazon. Obviously doing many other things like mentoring, YouTube, things like that. So, but yeah, I hit the 250,000, which is quite nice actually over the sort of December period. So I've done nearly 2 million, 1.9 million sales, 260k, 29% ROI overall. So yeah, all I need to do is just replicate that and do that all in 1 year, basically. Problem solved. But yeah, those are my interesting numbers, basically. But yeah, so they're okay. You know, they could be better. But Amazon should be a progressively growing business. So if you actually put the work in all the time and being consistent, unlike me, where I'm not that consistent, you should keep growing over time. So Zara's saying got brand approval for like Acer brand PS5. Okay, interesting, cool. Maybe the ungating's got better. Hey, Ashok, how's it going? Appreciate you coming on. But yeah, so is Amazon FBA still good in 2026? I'm gating very hard, so it's getting regated on brand. I think it's still great to do it. Yeah, do it when it's difficult. That's what I say, because when it gets easy, you're gonna absolutely crush it. So do not get worried about that. I'm not saying Amazon's an easy business, but it's not. But you can definitely make a lot of money. Like, you've got my results down there, by the way. So you can make like, well, I guess it is life-changing money, I suppose. It sounds really ridiculous to me, but I look at those numbers like, yeah, you know, it's all right. But yeah, but that's just, you know, you get kind of like, anyway, it is life-changing money. So if you can make, for most people, making $5,000-10,000 a month will be life-changing for them. You can definitely do that on Amazon. I'm not saying you can do it right away. It's going to take time to build. But yeah, you can definitely do it. Yeah, 100% definitely worth doing. So honestly, there's nothing better for cash building than Amazon. So Ryan saying, how can would you say SDK and SellerAmp isn't comparing the ROI of products? I found they don't accurately give consistent numbers when compared to each other. So SellerAmp is the best number you can use before you've sold it. STK is essentially the final say, because that data literally comes from the actual sale on Amazon. So SellerAmp, I'd say, is 99% accurate. I'm sure there are times it's not 1,000% accurate. Like, you know, it's really close. But yeah, but SDK is the final figure, because that is literally taking data from the sale. So it's literally just pulling data from Amazon itself. So, you know, but obviously you can't know that until you've made the sale. If that makes sense. So, but SellerAmp is still pretty accurate. They changed the requiring transparency codes, but there's Xmas, lack of sales, so hindsight should have stayed clear. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so yeah, transparency is obviously a way for brands to avoid other people on their listings. So yeah, there you go, Crib. Anyway, you've seen the numbers there. So it was we've got what's going on here? That's that. Nope. Got this one here. This is my year, and then that was my lifetime. So yeah. Adrian's saying, once got past 200 orders, ungating became 100 easier for me. Okay, cool. That's good to know. Yes, Adrian's sort of the guinea pig in the mentoring program a little bit, not really, but it's nice to see, and that there's a certain number. I always thought it'd be 3 months, 100 orders. Seems to be about 200 orders where you get in that probation period with Amazon, and then you kind of come out of that probation period, and you've proven yourself to Amazon, which Adrian has. He's not had any complaints, and he might have returns, it's fine, but like no complaints essentially. And then Amazon opens up. So it's actually, when you think about it, a 3 month period, 3 months, 200 units. It's really not that difficult to achieve. And then things get a little bit easier for you. That when you very, very first start out, you're in the penalty box basically. You're in not the sin bin, but you're just Amazon just keeping an eye on you. There's certain things you can't sell because obviously what they want to stop is people coming on, making a brand new account, selling Versace fakes or whatever, in 1,000 units in a month, then disappearing off the platform and doing it again, basically. That's where I want to stop. So, but it's not difficult, really. So, definitely worth getting into Amazon. It is worth it. It is not easy, but I think things will have to get easier. I think. But yeah, if you're willing to persevere, Adrian is a great example of this. And I know Adrian at times, if you don't mind me saying, was definitely having second thoughts, definitely, had some tough days, because things weren't going his way and things like that. But you can see the results. He made £1,700 profit, in December alone, which is crazy. And it's pretty much a brand new seller, 3 months in, roughly. Maybe not even quite 3 months yet, actually, I don't think. Actually, we probably have hit 3 months now, haven't we, I think, Adrian? And it just shows you. But Adrian was always someone who said, I'm going to be if you've got 100 people who are doing something, I'll be the last one to quit, or not quit, basically, if that makes sense. Whereas everyone else is quitting, I'll be sticking in there. So as long as you're willing to... Look, Amazon is a fantastic business and you make money, but it's not for the weak-willed. Let's put it like that at this point in time. If you're willing to persevere and stick with it and realize this is a long-term opportunity, then you can make shitloads of money. And I'm talking Lambo money. I'm talking £20,000-30,000 profit a month. I know guys that do this, literally all the time, make that kind of money. 15, 20,000, 30, I know some guys 30,000 every single month. Maybe not every single month. Yeah, no, on average, I'd say every month, yeah. So, that's good money. So, yeah. So, Crib is saying, what was your total rev? Sorry, I've done that one already, sorry. Yeah, October 1st sale. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, we're pretty much there. October, November, December. We're pretty much there, aren't we? 3 days away, pretty much. Yeah, it's probably 90 calendar days. So yeah, but no, it's a really good opportunity. You can make some serious money, and you can make some serious money in Amazon. And the more work and effort you put into it, the more you can make. Don't forget, I'm pretty lazy when it comes to Amazon. And these are numbers that I make. I kind of just throw money at the problem. If you're willing to go out there, find suppliers, put more work into sourcing, you can make a fortune on Amazon. Actually, that's what I'm going to do this year. I'm really going to focus down on Amazon more. So this year coming, I've got 3 things I'm focusing on. OA Hero, it will still be there, but I'm not going to be focusing on software too much this year. My main focus this year is Amazon FBA. Scaling that up to crazy numbers. 2, sorry, I don't you guys off there. 2 is going to be the mentoring program. That's the thing I'm focusing on as well. So improving that by a mile. It's really good as it is, but there's always room for improvement. But mentoring, getting more people into mentoring, with existing mentees, improving that program, just focusing on the mentoring. And then 3, the YouTube as well. The YouTube, I'm going to make more videos, better videos, more consistent lives. Just focusing on that, basically, and just going back to making... I enjoy doing the videos, so going back to doing videos. So 3 things, basically, and they all work in tandem. Me selling on Amazon means I'm a better mentor. Me selling on Amazon means I've got more to talk about for YouTube. So it just works hand in hand, basically. And my goal is to get to 30,000 profit every single month, on average, I'd say, in 2026. So, or at least getting on that trajectory anyway. So if it takes me till like June, July before I start hitting those consistent 30Ks, I'm okay with that. But yeah, that's my goal. It can be done. It's not that difficult, really. Once you know, this is why I kind of like the mentoring program, because once you've learned how to do this, it's really not rocket science. Once you can source, okay, all that intake, once you can know how to find products, which a lot of people struggle with, it's the biggest problem people have. Two problems. First problem is they don't know how to source, don't know how to find products. Once you've solved that, the next problem always comes down to money. You run out of money. You've got more products to buy than you have money. And then when you get to kind of my scale, the thing becomes difficult is time. It actually takes a long time. When you find a good deal, for example, and you're going to sit there for an hour, 2 hours, creating new accounts or going through and ordering over and over and over again. It takes time. But those are the problems, basically. But I was actually chatting to Helen, I think, when we last chat, Helen. I was looking at Helen's numbers. And one thing I noticed, by the way, is, let me just refresh my SDK. I'm on the old SDK now, by the way, because there's new ones out. Let's just take today, for example. Today is a pretty typical day. This is today, okay, right now. Whenever I look at someone who's doing this in a month or a day or a year or an hour or whatever it is, it's just a matter of scale. All it is a matter of scale. So now when you scale up crazily high, it is hard to maintain these ratios, but it is just a matter of scale. So I've looked at Helen, for example, and she's like, oh, I made 261 in a month, but I did like 2,500 sales, 50 to 100 units, 30% ROI. It's just a matter of scale. And if you can as long as you get the fundamentals down, all the problem becomes money. That's all it comes down to. You won't have enough money to buy deals, and then at that point, it just takes time to build. You get them, you buy stuff, you sell it, you get the money back, you reinvest it, and you keep growing and growing and growing, and it just goes up like this, basically. But yeah, once you've got these kind of fundamental figures down, like this, perfect. These are literally perfect numbers for today. 30% ROI, pretty much. This is pretty much it. It's just a matter of scale. So all I need to do basically is pretty much do not 10x this, I need to 100x this in a month basically. So I need to just take these numbers and do 100x of this, which is, well, it's a bit more than that, but yeah, let's say I'll do 26,000 a month. I just need to 100x what I'm doing here basically. So it is pretty much, once you get the fundamentals down, just a matter of scaling it and just sticking to those fundamentals and just keep scaling. That's all it is. It's really not hard. Amazon do limit you in you doing this. Mainly through the fact that ungating can be a bit of a pain, but I think they'll get easier. I think it will get easier, but we'll see. But that's the tricky part, I suppose. But yeah, it's literally not rocket science. But yeah, so if you see those numbers, then and those what you're doing. Now, if your numbers are way off, if you're not VAT registered and you're doing like 15% ROI, then there's some fundamental problems there that we need to figure out. But anyway, if you're interested in mentoring, by the way, link below. We can look into mentoring if you want. But yeah, Claudia, I'd love to tell you that, but it's really impossible to tell. Now, I don't know if the new SDK has tags. So one feature I'd love all these softwares to have, maybe some of the other ones like Seller Site and Seller Fuse stuff have them, but to be able to tag your inventory, so just add a tag on, so you can say, oh, this inventory was bought from, I could give inventory like a Cookita tag, for example. I could give inventory a Tesco tag or a John Lewis tag or whatever, and that way I can then filter by that tag. So everything I buy just gets tagged as Cookita. Then I could literally, hopefully, just do the kind of the STK dashboard by just that tag. I'd love to see that. I've got no idea. For Q4, pretty much all those perfumes aftershaves were from Cookita. 99.9% of them were from Cookita. Throughout the year, it's such a guess. It's hard for me to say. 30%, I genuinely don't know. It's so hard to know through the softwares we've got. Seller Fuse have bought it out. There we go. Great. So I need to get set up on Seller Fuse, and I'm going to use one more as well. I don't know if there's a new SDK just literally came out today. I've not used it properly yet. But yeah, I need to do that basically so I can tag my inventory, because Seller Toolkit doesn't have that feature. Well, at least the old one doesn't. But yeah, that'd be good. And that way you can see, because I think it's be good to. So, for example, what I wanted to do when I came up with this idea was, not, it was last year in January. Yeah, a year ago. It was a massive Tesco Lego sale. I think it was then. It might have been a year before that, but I think it was last year. I can't remember. And I wanted to basically tag all that stuff as like Tesco sale. That way I could see, was it worth that time I went out and did, all that, went and did the RA and did the Tesco sale, and see what did I make off that sale. Because if you can add 2 tags in, you could do Tesco as one, and you could do a specific sale. So you can go, okay, how much did I make in that sale? Let's say, for example, there was a big toy sale that went on in November, October, November, whatever it was. You could buy all the stock from there. You could tag it as that particular sale, that particular website. And then you could look back and go, yeah, you know what? I made $5,000 off that sale. Definitely want to keep an eye out for the future. So that's what I want to do, basically. And hopefully this new software will do that. So, But yeah, Amazon's not rocket science, guys. It really isn't. This is not difficult to crack. You just need to practice. You just need someone to help you, basically. That's what it comes down to. You can do it yourself. You can definitely learn it yourself. It'll take longer. But yeah, you just need someone to help you and guide you. So yeah, if you want to do mentoring, link below. We'll have a chat and see if you're interested in see if it works for you, basically. And you can kind of do numbers like this. And then to be honest with you, 21,500 is really not that great for December, to be honest with you. Those are, compared to some people, I mean, let me go into some of these groups. Let me have a look in like Profit Sweep. Anyone post their results in here? Let's have a look. Oh, I so rarely go into here. Yeah, I don't know if I can even find them. Do they even have a sales section? Let's go to Hustle Club. Look at the sales section in there. Do they have like a sales success section? Success. Did anyone post any good numbers? Let me just show you guys. Here we go. Wow. Okay, that was the year. Someone guided here had 23,500, so a little bit better than me. Another guy here did 24,633 profit in December. I'm trying to find any like big boys in here. They did crazy numbers. Any big numbers? You get some guys out there that do. It tends to be when these guys get really big, that they don't start posting their numbers. But yeah, you can definitely get some guys that they're probably making 40, 50, 60,000 in December, maybe even a little bit more. I'd be very interested actually to see what Flipping at 30 did in December. But yeah, anyway, so any other questions, guys, before we kind of wrap it up there? Let me know if you've got any more questions, comments, concerns, anything. Let me know. Plans next year. I've talked about plans next year. Just need to absolutely crush it. Organization is going to be the key. Putting good systems in place is going to be key. I've got a few little ideas in the back of my head to make my life easier as well, which is going to be good. Got 2 new VAs who are starting pretty much. Well, I think one actually started today, but I think starting tomorrow, basically. So that would be good. They're there for the mentoring program. So yeah, there's 3 VAs now in the mentoring program, which is good to help give you guys some leads. But yeah, it's looking up and up, basically. Any videos on returns and reimbursements upcoming? That is a good one to do, I think. And actually, FBA, I'm going to be doing those because it's something I need to work on myself. It's one of my weakest parts of doing Amazon is chasing reimbursements and stuff. And just to give an example, I need to do it because I sent in 60 brother sewing machines. I sent in, my prep center sent in. They went in on 1 pallet, I believe, and 16 of them have gone missing. So I need to then chase that. And they were not cheap items. They were £250 each, I think. So I need to chase them. That's about $3,000, isn't it? Something like that. And I'm a bit worried about that one because I don't think my reimbursement cost is going to be $250. But yeah, so that's a really good idea, FBA Cope. I'm going to do some more videos around that. So the next video that's going to come out, that dedicated video, is going to be my plan on getting 30,000 a month and breaking down exactly how I'm going to do that, basically. Again, it's not rocket science, but yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing, basically. How much do I need to spend? How I'm going to do that? What ratio of like Cogita to OA to wholesale and stuff like that's going to happen. I'm going to be breaking in a little bit into wholesale this year as well. And by the way, none of these numbers that I've shown you now are any wholesale, apart from Cogita, which is not technical. I don't do wholesale. So this is OA and Cogita, basically. Oh, sorry, OA, Cogita, A2A. With, I guess, a tiny, ridiculous fraction of OA, but I'm talking like 0.0001%. But yeah, so we've actually got, and the reason I can do this at FBA Cope is because inside of the mentoring program, we've actually made. Oh, I shouldn't actually say it, actually. I'm not going to say it. But yeah, I'll do some videos, basically. Don't worry. I'll do some videos. But yeah, so I don't want to leak out too much stuff that's in there. Competitors. But yeah, awesome, guys. I'm going to wrap that up there anyway. If you've got any ideas for anything, by the way, if you need help with anything, you can DM me on Discord. I am behind on my DMs. I've had a lot. Probably 30, 40 DMs over Christmas that I need to catch up with. But yeah, if you've got any questions, then you can DM me on Discord. You know, if you're not in there, guys, Discord group, link in description, mentoring link in description, OA Hero, link in description. That still works. I'll still be keeping that up to date with data. Just won't be any new features, I don't think. It's only $150 for lifetime, so it's cheap enough. And then, yeah, any other links below. Appreciate everyone coming on. Hopefully you've learned a little bit. Hopefully I've entertained you, taught you something maybe, and motivated you hopefully as well. So and then one day you can do the numbers down here on the bottom left hand side. Awesome. Thanks very much to everyone coming on. I appreciate everyone, all the regular viewers, anyone new as well, anyone who's watching this afterwards as well. All these are recorded, so you can go back and watch all the old lives. But yeah, thanks everyone. I appreciate